Hello everyone, welcome to WJELP. My name is Jackson. Today is the 9th of June, 2025. Go ahead, take a look at radar across the US. We have some kind of sub-severe weather occurring over New Mexico, clearing out through the southeast, as well up into the northeast here, and over I guess, glove part here of mainland Michigan. I guess they're both mainland. I don't know. UP, the glove, you tell me. Um, but some continuing trends from the weekend, just borderline severe, just a bunch of special weather statements, severe thunderstorms, but nothing really spinning up all too badly. Mainly over Virginia, West Virginia, Maryland area. I believe there's another one currently going on near Virginia Beach. But other than that, some stuff over North Texas, but not really a whole lot in the areas that we're looking at. Go ahead and look at the old futurecast here on the Euro. Match up here. We do have our first named hurricane, which is in the Pacific. Hurricane. Barbara, the first East Pacific hurricane of the season. Congrats, Barbara. But we move along to the next couple of days. We'll have that low pressure system here pushing throughout the southeast, but that is in no means an end to our wet weather as we get a little bit of a break Tuesday into Wednesday. But that high pressure system will start to look its way out of here as another low pressure system develops over the Midwest, bringing a bit more showers Thursday as that warm, moist air gets sucked up in. And then into Friday, see progresses further north with a bit of a trough developing below it and bringing plenty of afternoon storms across the southeast into Friday and into Saturday here. It's kind of widespread east of the Mississippi. Saturday, potentially another hurricane here developing over the East Pacific, but Sunday continues a little bit of the rain here. Yeah, popping up again with that afternoon heating. Wow, big time. And then into next Monday, continuing that unstable air mass of just warm, moist air, developing some storms. It looks like most will be scattered, if not just consistent rain in kind of the daylight hours. So go ahead, take a look at the SPC. Some slight risks going on here across really the east, as well as a little bit of a tail here in Texas, New Mexico. We'll take a look at day 2. We'll go to day 2. There we go. We see it clear out off the east coast, but nothing really affecting the area. Day 3, just some marginal with general thunderstorms. Into day 4 and 5, 6, 7, 8. Nothing on the outlook there. So break it down. Come into our regional forecast here. So Tuesday again, looking at still some sun over the Tennessee River Valley, Nashville, Huntsville, with the rain clearing out Tuesday in the morning. Maybe some rain late as well as that continues. Wednesday, the sun shines bright across the southeast. Savannah still seeing some storms, scattered storms. Thursday, we see the kind of intake of that warm, moist air. Clouds develop, some rain over Atlanta, thunderstorms over Savannah. Friday, we see that in full swing. Rain just about everywhere into Saturday, Sunday, and next Monday. Particularly the Ohio River Valley, sun tomorrow. Some partly cloudy areas, very clear on Wednesday. Thursday, we start seeing that weather move in. Friday, again, more clouds developing in the southern areas and the western areas. And then Saturday brings the rain, some storms across Ohio. Sunday is rain again, with Monday starting to clear out for the southern area, with Cleveland seeing a bit more sun as that low pressure system pushes out off east, and more of that more moist air comes from the south. So potentially a little bit of sun peeking through for Cleveland up there. And kind of keeps it easy. Not really a severe threat later this week, really just today being that issue. Um, Potentially some isolated thunderstorms, maybe some severe thunderstorm watches, warnings being issued later in the week, but um, seems just to be just humid summer weather kind of settling in now across the eastern U.S. So I think that pretty much covers the whole forecast, keeping it short and sweet, about 6 minutes. We're going to go ahead and switch over to our little topic for the day, and that'll be microbursts. Let me go ahead and scroll in here so get that seen. So, microburst is a downdraft or sinking air in a thunderstorm that is less than 2.5 miles in scale. Some microbursts can pose a threat to life and property, but all microbursts pose a significant threat to aviation. And we'll take a look at that when we hop over to the Wikipedia page. And although microbursts are not widely recognized as tornadoes, they can cause comparable and in some cases worse damage than some tornadoes produce. In fact, wind speeds as high as 150 miles an hour are possible in extreme microburst cases. So I think there was a few of these seen over the weekend here around the southeast U.S. as some of the severe thunderstorms were really dropping down some pretty impressive winds, localized winds. So we see here downbursts, strong downward outward gushing wind system that emanates from point source above and blows radially, that is, in straight lines in all directions from the area of impact at the surface level. Originates under deep, moist convective clouds like cumulus congestus or cumulonimbus. I've never heard of this cloud. Towering cumulus, okay. Capable of producing damaging winds, it may sometimes be confused with a tornado where high velocity winds circle a central area and air moves inward and upward. So this is basically the opposite. There are dry downbursts and wet downbursts. For the most part, we see wet downbursts with microbursts, macrobursts, or downbursts at very small and large scales, respectively. A rare variety of dry downbursts, the heat burst is created by vertical currents on the backside of old outflow boundaries and squall lines. Okay. And downbursts are a topic of notable discussion in aviation since they create vertical wind shear, which has the potential to be dangerous to aviation, especially during landing or takeoff. As you see a little image here with the plane trying to land. And there's a dramatized downburst going on the runway it's about to land on. So we have dry microbursts where rain falls below the cloud base or is mixed with dry air. It begins to evaporate, and this evaporation process cools the air. The denser cool air descends and accelerates as it approaches the surface. When cool air approaches the surface, it spreads out in all directions. High winds spread out in this type of pattern, showing little or no curvature, are known as straight line winds. So I think we sometimes see that whenever you can feel a rainstorm coming closer, it gets a bit windier. I feel like when the rain is falling, it is pushing out winds, but I guess this is a more intense localized version. So we look at wet microbursts or downbursts accompanied by significant precipitation at the surface. These downbursts rely more on the drag of precipitation for downward acceleration of parcels, as well as negative buoyancy, which tends to drive dry microbursts. As a result, higher mixing ratios are necessary for these downbursts to form. Melting of ice, particularly hail, appears to play an important role in downburst formation. Gotcha. Excuse me. So these straight line winds, very strong winds that can produce damage, demonstrating a lack of rotational damage pattern associated with tornadoes. Straight line winds are common with the gust front of a thunderstorm. I think that's what I'm thinking, a gust front. Mexico boundary separating thunderstorm cool air, outflow from the surrounding air, similar effect to the cold front. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. You kind of see that on radars. It's just like a little wave that pushes out ahead of the storms, and I guess that's kind of the wind that you feel ahead of rain. Formation. So develops as the downdraft begins its descent from cloud base. The downdraft accelerates and within minutes reaching the surface. Um, Contact stage. So that's where it hits the ground. During the upper stage, the wind curls as the cold air in the downburst moves away from the point of impact with the surface. So we see the outburst curling there in the cushion stage. Winds around the curl continue to accelerate while the winds at the surface slow due to friction. So we see extension over the top and slowing at the base. Yeah, so there we go. And then it goes into some math there with buoyancy equations, negative vertical motion, heat bursts, which results from precipitation evaporated air compressionally heating as it descends from a very high altitude, usually on the backside of a dying squall line or outflow boundary. Heat bursts are chiefly a nocturnal occurrence, can produce winds of over 100 miles an hour, are characterized by exceptionally dry air, can suddenly raise the surface temperature to 100 degrees or more. No shot. Huh. Decaying thunderstorms, occur when rain evaporates, virga, into a partial cold, drying air high in the atmosphere, making the air denser than its surroundings. The parcel descends rapidly, warming due to compression, overshoots its equilibrium level, and reaches the surface. Known as Satan storm, have reached well above 104 degrees Fahrenheit, rising by 18 degrees Fahrenheit or more within only a minute. Are there any? Oh, there are documented cases. Oh wow, plenty of them. Chicago, although not intense. What's the max temperature difference? 65 degrees? 140 degrees? Jeez. Some in Barcelona. I guess, yeah, higher, drier places. But then again, there's Chicago. I guess Portugal's kind of dry. Indianapolis gets some. Interesting. Did not know that. There is danger to shipping, but the real case here is danger to aviation, where we have plenty of these accidents. The most recent recorded one being September 1st, 2018, at Sochi International Airport. Overran the runway. Third results in overrun. Thunderstorms were reported over Sochi at the time of the accident. The aircraft received damage to its belly, wings, and engine. The cause of the accident was flight crew ignoring repetitive wind shear warnings when the aircraft experienced low-level horizontal wind shear and the crew's decision to land on the runway when its conditions at the time of the accident prohibiting doing so. Contributing factors include violations of operating procedures, autopilot, poor resource management training, and late deployment of spoilers. So not exactly dedicated to it. So here's 39 injuries. So it's kind of like turbulence where you have your up and down motion, but this is just an extreme case. Plane rotated controls. Plane began its takeoff with a headwind, but the winds quickly shifted to a right crosswind, increasing as the plane proceeded down the runway. The plane reached its maximum altitude, about 30 feet. The maximum indicated airspeed 151 knots, and the wind direction suddenly shifted to a 24-knot tailwind. Lost airspeed, altitude, and audible alarm of "Don't sink" sounded in the cockpit. 5 seconds later, the left wing struck the runway. Both engines broke away from the wings. The plane skidded off the runway and came to rest about 1,000 feet beyond the end of the runway. 103 people on board the plane were able to evacuate and survive the crash before a fire broke out and destroyed the aircraft. So this doesn't look like a direct um, kind of like running into it, but takeoff with a headwind, winds quickly shifted to a right crosswind, so it's coming down, then it's going right, and then behind. So it looks like it happened just off to the left of the runway and caused that um, aircraft to overrun the runway. But yeah, I mean, danger to buildings as well. Dang. Strong microburst winds flipped a several-ton shipping container up the side of a hill at, I guess that's Vaughan, whatever, Ontario in April 2007. Six business jets damaged by a wet microburst striking Hobby Airport, Texas, Ohio, Arizona. So, I mean, even in Maryland, um, it's just 'cause wherever you have kind of thunderstorms, which is just about anywhere. So, um, yeah, I think that pretty much covers everything I wanted to discuss and kind of learn about downbursts. Interesting. Um, I guess we'll kind of keep a lookout in the future for any Atlantic hurricanes now that Pacific's gotten one name's, well, I guess two name storms because they're already on Barbara, but they got the first hurricane. Um, so kind of keep an eye out for it as the kind of weeks approach, but I didn't really see anything indicated by Wendy's kind of future looks here. Um, there might be something dramatic out in the future that we might be looking for, but it looks like maybe in 2 weeks. But again, that's 2 weeks from now. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Feel free to leave a comment on anything that you'd like to see, learn about, or anything to like, anything I should change. But yeah, if I don't talk to you, see you in Discord. If not Discord, I will see you all next week. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you. Bye.